Hi, how you doing? Jeff Cripps is my name from A Sharp Recording Studio in Sydney, Australia. I've got if you go to my website, asharp.com.au, I've got a whole bunch of articles there, and I think one of them is called The Bullet Points of Recording. If I haven't got one there, drop me a note and I'll send it to you by email. In any case, what it is, basically, because I've been doing this for a long time, I've made 300 CDs here, 300, and done over 1,000 demos. So there's a lot of stuff. So I sort of find a lot of bands make the same mistake. So I've written a bit of an article to try and lend a hand to sort of like, don't do these things. Before I have a session, here's a few things that you shouldn't do, and there's a few things you should do. So I've got my notes here because I couldn't memorise the whole thing. So here's the first one. Don't rage till 5 in the morning, but the session start the next day. It's a waste of alcohol, money and studio, but mainly a waste of alcohol. So basically I've had bands, with this one particular band, sort of bluesy roots type band, they had this opportunity. They were playing with Charlie and the Nighthawks the night before, so they went out raging to the 4 or 5 in the morning. They came back here. This was their first official professional recording. They came here sort of 10 o'clock in the morning. They were rat shit. So the first recording I had to sort of crack the whip, and the first recording was okay, only because I was, come on guys, we've got to make this good, but they didn't want to know about it. And of course the vocalist, his voice was shot, so he had to come back the next time, to do the vocals, and of course extra money, extra sort of, and all that sort of stuff. So don't rage in the morning if you've got a session the next day. Other one, don't have the final knock these songs into shape 10-hour rehearsal the day before the session. You blow your voice out and have blisters on your fingers. So don't have, I had bands, oh, we had a really good night last night, we played right till 12 o'clock and we got all the songs down. They go, man, you should have done like 2 or 3 nights ago. Don't do the night before, because when it comes in here, if you've got, say, a 4-track demo and you're not doing it to a click track, the singer's got to sing the song each time for the band. So that as the band might take 4 or 5 takes to get that song down, 4 songs, that's 20, 25 takes. The singer's got to sing 20, 25 songs. If he's had a really tough night the night before at midnight, he gets home, the wife cracks a rolling pin on his hip because he's too late. He doesn't get to sleep at 2 o'clock in the morning. He gets up, his voice is gone. So if he's going to be good for 5 takes, run 25 takes. You've got to get back to the singer to do the vocals again. Same thing. So have a good practice 2 or 3 nights beforehand, or 2 or 3 nights is good, not the night before. Always bring spare strings and drumsticks to our session. Even if you've been playing since the age of 4 in every country in the world, free and communist, and have never ever broken one before, you will on bar 3 of the session. It always happens that way. Be prepared. Things just unbelievable happen in the studio. Like I've had guys, I've never broken a string before my whole life. This is the first time, I'm 65 years old, the first time but it's in a recording studio. It's just amazing what happens. Things that people say, I've never heard that buzz before my amplifier, and just all that stuff happens in the studio. So basically, try and get your act together before you come to the studio and have spares, because the bottom line is, let's say we're having a Sunday session, by 3 o'clock on Sunday afternoon, you bust a string. What happens is, like, music shops around here aren't open 3 o'clock of a Sunday afternoon. You're flat out to open it all around here. Okay, I like this one here. A $200 Fender Squier guitar does not sound like a real Stratocaster, even if it comes from the first shipment. I fell for that all those years ago. It's a quarter the price of the real Strat because the sound is a quarter as good. Same thing for a $100 drum kit. You're not going to get a John Bonham drum sound out of a $100 drum kit. It's just not going to happen. I had a Fender Squier, and it was from the first shipment. And every time I played it, this is not so good. About 10 years down the line, I finally end up sort of getting a Strat, and then I'm getting stolen. That's another story. But as soon as you put your hands on a real Strat, you go, oh, that's right. You plug it in. That's how they get that sound. So I can also, if you put new, people say, oh, I got a cheap Squier, but I put new, what do they call them? Pickups. New pickups. Thank you, Jordan. New pickups in there. If you come in, like, if you spend that money and stuff around, just buy a proper Strat. In any case. Number 5. There's no such thing as a Kylie box. In Australia here we've got a hugely popular singer called Kylie Minogue, and people often say that they put through pop singers, sort of pretty ordinary pop singers, through this little box to make them sound good. They say, oh, you can do anything in the studio. Well, you can do a lot of things in the studio, but you can't make Kylie Minogue sound like Aretha Franklin. I'm not quite sure if you can make Aretha Franklin sound like Kylie Minogue. Maybe you can, I don't know. But there is no Kylie box. There is no Kylie to Aretha Franklin box. There's no Ringo to John Bonham drum box. There's no sort of, guitar player to Joe Satriani guitar box. The bottom line is, if you sound good, you sound good. A studio can help a lot of things. You can, you can really make it sound with compressors and reverb, sound sort of good. The bottom line is, Kylie Minogue's not going to sound like Aretha Franklin, and that's it. So you got to do it. Okay, so drum skins. I often have sort of guys often ring up and go, "How's your drum skins?" I say, "Oh, they're doing pretty good condition." "Well, how long you had the kit?" "Oh, 6 years." "So when's the last time you did change the skins?" "I haven't." "So you've had the kit 6 years?" "Oh, they'll still look okay." So the bottom line is with drum skins, it's just like the guitar strings. If you get older guitar strings, they get dull, they get rusty, and they won't tune properly. Same thing for drum skins. If you're coming in for a session, you either use the kit at the I've got a studio kit that I have always set up and all tuned up for the studio. So I just hire $60, so that saves a whole heap of time. So if you want to come to the studio, you've got to get good drum skins. The skins have to be able to be tuned just like a guitarist. You've got to have new strings, you've got to have new skins. So that's the deal. Here's the other one, number 7. No one will miss if there's a 16th note missing on the hi-hat in the 3rd verse, but everyone will notice if the chorus sucks. Focus on the main important things when recording. Again, you have a drummer, and I understand why, because this would have been my worst nightmare when I was 18. But the drummer comes near and the song's going along, and he can hear one little 16th thing missing in the hi-hat. But he's the only one in the world, except for his mum, who's going to hear that little thing missing out. It's much more important to get things like, is the chorus happening? Is the thing speeding up? Is it a good vocal? Is it got a good drum groove? The big picture stuff is a good drum groove, a good vocal, energy from the band. Is the chorus happening? Now, are the words good? Have you got Moon and June in the words? People are going to notice that. They're not going to miss the 1/16th hi-hat note, but they're going to notice that Moon and June sort of sucks a bit in the verse or the chorus or something like that. So try and get the main things, the important things in the in the session. An Australian band called Midnight Oil used to have a great thing. They used to have a whiteboard, and when they do a CD, because they're quite successful, but they might have sort of 5 days or 2 weeks, I don't know, whatever they have. But let's just say you've got so 3 days in studio. Have a little whiteboard, and you go, okay, rhythm tracks we've got 10 hours, 8 hours, I don't know. Well, depends how many songs you're doing. Then guitars, we've got extra guitars, we've got 4 hours. Bass, we've got 1 hour. Vocals, we've got 6 hours, whatever. And basically, everyone looks at that, look at their clock, and they've really got to get what they can do in that 8 hours, their 4 hours, or 2 hours, whatever. And if they get the meat and potato stuff done quickly and promptly and get that done, they've got 3 hours left out of the 8 hours to do extra vocal things they want to do, or try a few things, whatever. Because everybody needs in the studio, a bit of time to try this and that. I did today with Jordan, we're trying a few things, a 6-string, a 12-string, whatever. So you need that extra time. But the bottom line is, what I've often found is people sort of spend like an hour checking out if a 12-string works or 6-string or whatever. You spend sort of 10 minutes or 5 minutes to see if it works. Don't spend an hour, and then all of a sudden they run out of time. They're doing their lead vocal at midnight. Bad things. So do your main things first, and you spend little things a bit after or during, or just check them out at home or check them out at rehearsal. As sure as night follows day, as sure as another Kiss reunion, you will run out of time each and every session. It just happens. There are two sayings you'll never hear. One, can the drummer please move his Porsche from the car park? Never hear that one. The other one is, look at the clock, we have some time left over in the studio. Probably exaggerating a touch, but I've done, as I say, I've done 300 CDs. I reckon 250, 260 of those CDs have gone over budget. Might have been this much, might have been this much. But in the studio, again, focus on the main things.